I'm your host, Karen Kahn, and today I have the privilege of speaking with Scott Rainey, who is the Authorized Financial Advisor with Bradley Nuttall Financial Advisors. And over the next few minutes, Scott's going to share some financial insights with us so we can realize greater success and wealth. So Scott, thank you for being with us today.
You're very welcome.
So all of us want to be successful with our wealth. What are you seeing people do these days?
Good question. It varies. There's a lot of people who like the idea of investing in bricks and mortar, houses and that sort of thing. But what we're seeing a trend really towards is people recognising that it's an expert skill and that they need help because most people really don't know what they need to do to get where they want to be, because finances can be quite intimidating and quite nerve-wracking. So what we do with clients is we take them through a process where we see where they're at and where they'd like to be, and then we can put in place strategies to get them where they want to go. Now that can involve investing in shares and stocks and bonds and some property, but usually what most people find when we get to go through our process is that they really enjoy it, and mostly they have a great feeling of relief and security that they otherwise don't have.
So how should people be dealing with each of the areas in finance and with their financial needs?
Well, usually most people need help because it's one relatively small aspect of people's lives. It's something that, while it's really important, it's intimidating, so people don't spend the time on it. What they should be doing is seeking expert advice, because there are so many different pitfalls that could go wrong, or more pertinently, great opportunities that people could be taking if they knew they were there.
So how do people get started on this path?
Well, they come and they ask for either a second or a first opinion. Well, lots of people haven't had a good first opinion, but often people need a good second opinion to see if they can, if they're on track and if they'd like to be.
So this all obviously is important to you. What has made you passionate about this topic?
Well, look, I love numbers. I always have. I'm an economics graduate. I love math at school and high school and university, and I'm a chartered financial analyst designation holder. So I really love numbers, and I thought that's why I did this job. I thought that the idea of mixing numbers and money sounded great, but what I really discovered is what actually matters to me is people, because there's nothing quite as rewarding as sitting in front of a couple who are really confused about where they're at, about whether or not they can retire, about how much they need to get there, to going through a process and getting them to the point where they actually know. And say, oh, so all I have to do is that? And you can keep me on track to make sure that in 20 years' time I've got the choices to do whatever I want. That's really exciting and rewarding.
Yep. So what's the first step you recommend people should take?
Well, broadly the first step is always think about your money. So step one is probably repay debt, but the next step is definitely speak to an expert. This is a vocation more than a career where people really want to help. I haven't met a financial advisor yet in any company who doesn't want to make a real difference in their clients' lives, and we're all happy, more than happy, to meet with someone, or at least speak with them on the phone to see whether or not we might fit. And if we don't fit, and because sometimes we don't, we want to help. So we'll steer someone in the direction they should go, even if that means, hey, go back to your bank and talk about whether or not you should refinance your mortgage.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
You're very welcome.